There are many dangerous animals on our planet. For some species, a person has developed natural caution over the millennia. For example, as statistics show, the largest number of fears in people relate to the fear of snakes and spiders. Few people will understand whether it is a poisonous snake or spider, or no, he just hurries to get away. But it turns out that there are a huge number of representatives of the fauna, about which a person could not even think that they should be afraid. In this issue, we will look at the most dangerous animals for humans. Blue-ringed octopus. The name of the genus is associated with the unusual color of the animal blue rings on yellow skin. These are predatory octopuses that live in the coastal waters of Japan and Australia. They are very aggressive and poisonous. One of the components of the poison, tetrodotoxin, causes paralysis of the motor parts of the nervous system, respiratory arrest and, as a result, cardiac arrest. The main danger lies in the fact that the antidote has not been found so far. Understanding when not to touch an octopus is not difficult. In an irritated state, his skin color takes on a brown tint, and the blue rings become even brighter and begin to shimmer. Blue-ringed octopuses are very small. Their body length is a maximum of 5 centimeters, and the tentacles stretch up to 10 centimeters. The body of these creatures is oval in shape and slightly pointed at the back. It would seem that such a beautiful baby, how can he be dangerous? And it is this insidious illusion that many lovers of the underwater world fall into, seeking to touch everything attractive at the bottom. Jellyfish sea wasp. This marine life is the most poisonous jellyfish among its kind, and is also considered perhaps the most dangerous animal in the world. Medusa is famous for having poison in its tentacles that can kill an adult in a few minutes. To be more precise, the strength of this marine life is enough to kill 60 people in 3 minutes. According to some reports, over the past 100 years, up to 100 people have died from the poison of a jellyfish. Jellyfish are almost transparent, have a pale blue color. Therefore, due to its invisibility, it can pose an additional danger to swimmers, since this marine life is very difficult to see. The jellyfish have 4 tufts of 15 tentacles each, extending from each of the 4 corners of the dome. The tentacles of a large jellyfish can reach 3 meters, and therefore a person may not feel contact when swimming in the vicinity and touching a thin thread. The tentacles are covered with numerous stinging cells, which contain a deadly poison. These cells respond to pressure and the action of chemical signals of a protein nature. Tree frog. A very beautiful and singing frog, the poison dart frog, lives in South America. Its coloring is so bright that it always attracts attention. However, it will not be good for someone who tries to pick up a poison dart frog or at least touch him. Feeling a touch on himself, he immediately begins to secrete extremely dangerous poison through his skin, including for humans. In such a reliable way, the poison dart frog perfectly protects itself from any encroachment on its life. The poison in the skin of these frogs accumulates as a result of eating poisonous insects, termites and ants, so if you feed the poison dart frogs with something else at home, they will lose their dangerous properties. The instant action of the poison occurs even when it enters through a tiny crack in the body of a living being. It penetrates into the blood, and there already comes complete paralysis. Until now, science has not invented an antidote for the deadly potion of poison dart frogs, so that the body does not have the slightest chance, in which there is at least a drop of the poison of this frog. Mite. A parasite that carries many infections and diseases. From a tick bite, a person can get a serious illness, which will manifest itself only after a few years. Contrary to popular belief, mites are not insects. They are invertebrate arthropods and belong to the class of arachnids. Roughly speaking, ticks are one of the types of spiders, and their number significantly exceeds the number of representatives of the order of spiders. The tick has no enemies in nature. It is good for them everywhere, in any climatic zone, and therefore they settled everywhere, except for Antarctica. Animals and humans need to be wary of 3 species of this arachnid arthropod: gamacid, argassic and ixidid mites. The latter are the most numerous, with almost 250 subspecies alone. In addition to the deadly disease of encephalitis, ticks infect with tularemia, borreliosis, and many other diseases, each of which threatens with a rapid or gradual loss of health and even death. The wart is considered the most poisonous fish in the world and is a great danger to bathers who can step on it and injure themselves on sharp needles. The poison of this fish causes severe pain with possible shock, paralysis, and tissue death, depending on the depth of penetration. With deep penetration, the injection can be fatal to a person if he is not provided with medical assistance within a few hours. If the thorn hit a large blood vessel, death can occur in 2 to 3 hours. The stonefish is found in the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Islands and northern Australia, where the inhabitants call it the warty vampire. There is a chance to encounter a wart on the beaches of Hurghada, Sharm el-Sheikh, and Dahab. People who are lucky enough to survive a wart injection often remain disabled, because its poison destroys red blood cells and affects the central nervous system. But, since it is a fish, then someone feeds on it. Stonefish meat dishes are popular in China and Japan, where sushi called okos is prepared from it. Another dangerous fugu fish. The body of this fish contains the poison tetrodotoxin. Each fish contains only a few tens of milligrams of this substance, but this amount is enough to kill almost 30 people. Despite such a danger in Japan, this fish is a delicacy, but because of its extreme poisonousness, only cooks with a special licensed puffer cook are allowed to cook it. One can only guess how many unfortunate fishermen tried to cook this fish on their own and were doomed. Surely many of the victims of this fish did not even know about its danger. For example, they caught and immediately decided to cook at a picnic. An interesting fact is that fugu, like the poison dart frog, does not produce poison, but accumulates it. Fugu is a predatory fish that hunts at the very bottom for shellfish, crabs, and sea urchins. Some inhabitants of the seabed are poisonous, and their poison in the stomach of the fish is converted into tetrodotoxin, which accumulates in the liver, caviar, and milk, as well as on the skin. Yellow scorpion. This type of scorpion is found in the Middle and Near East in Egypt, Ethiopia, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Israel, Qatar, Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey. It is called differently yellow omdurman, Palestinian and Israeli scorpion, as well as a deadly hunter. The sting of a yellow scorpion is considered extremely dangerous. The venom secreted by these scorpions contains a strong mixture of neurotoxins that can cause intense and unbearable pain, leading to fever, coma, convulsions, paralysis, and death. The most poisonous scorpion lives in forest areas and dry desert areas with different types of soil. During the day, he hides, using voids under stones, crevices in rocks, or shallow burrows that he digs himself as shelters. The lifespan of a yellow scorpion is about 5 years. At the same time, during this period of life, scorpions leave an army of many thousands of their offspring. The female brings from 35 to 87 cubs. The Taipan snake is considered one of the most dangerous snakes for humans. Its poison is very dangerous, but it is not the most dangerous poison among snakes, but the nature of this snake is the most aggressive. If most snakes, when approaching a person, try to crawl away in advance so as not to even be noticed, then the taipan will not even move, it will lurk in the grass, and when a person approaches, it will make its insidious and often fatal bite, because there is no more than 15 to administer an antidote to a person. Minutes, and this is often not enough to take a person to the hospital. The snake lives in Australia, where it inhabits deserts and dry plains. Very often, taipans themselves attack a person who approaches them. Before the bite, the snake, as it were, warns the person about its intention to bite him. To do this, the snake curls up into several rings, raises its head high above the ground, and makes 2 or 3 lunges towards the offender. After that, if the person has not stepped aside, the snake quickly straightens up and rushes at the person. The speed of its movement during the throw is approximately 3 to 4 meters per second. Therefore, there is practically no chance for a person to be saved. Due to its aggressive disposition, large size and speed, the taipan is considered the most dangerous of all poisonous snakes in the world. Kissing beetle. This creature spreads the dangerous Chagas disease, also called kissing beetle disease. They got this adorable sounding name for a not so pleasant reason. These insects have a habit of feeding on leftover food in the human mouth while humans sleep. After eating, these beetles can leave secretions on small wounds on the human body. Through these wounds, parasitic trypanosomes enter the human body. Chagas disease is common in parts of Central and South America. There, the parasite has already infected about 8 million people. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 300,000 people in the United States are also carriers of the microorganism. According to the World Health Organization, the disease can often go undiagnosed because the initial stage of the infection is vague and nonspecific. In the chronic stage, the parasite hides in the heart and digestive system and can cause chronic cardiovascular disease. Eventually, in the later stages, the infection can lead to sudden death due to arrhythmia or heart failure. It would seem that it is not difficult to determine the most dangerous creatures, but it would not even occur to many to expect big trouble from a tiny mosquito. But if you delve into the statistics, then it turns out to be a real maniac. No tigers, bears and sharks come close in terms of the number of victims with a malarial mosquito. Here he is, a real killer, included in the Guinness Book of Records for his atrocities as the most dangerous creature on the planet. It would seem what's so terrible about it? The mosquito is normal. But every year, after being bitten by such a mosquito, a huge number of people, about 500 million, fall ill with malaria. Of these, about 1 million people die. No spiders and snakes cause such harm. For 50,000 years, the malarial mosquito has been infecting people with this terrible disease. Scientists suggest that many famous personalities died from a malarial mosquito. For example, the traveler Christopher Columbus, the poet Dante Alighieri, the commander Genghis Khan, and even Alexander the Great himself. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. If it was interesting, support the video with likes. Thank you for subscribing, and take a look at what else we have prepared for you.